Nintendo 3DS consoles are expensive. No matter how hard you try, it seems impossible to get any good deal on a 3DS. You tried checking eBay, Facebook, and the Ottoman with no signs of luck. You give up hope and call it quits. But what if I told you could get any model of 3DS at a significant discount? Introducing Japanese 3DS systems. So why is it better to buy a Japanese system compared to all of the others available online? First reason, they are cheaper, but you may be asking how they are cheaper. Simply put, the 3DS sold a lot better in Japan compared to other regions. As in Japan, Nintendo stuff always sells really well, as Japan is where Nintendo originates. But secondly, there is lower demand in Japan, most likely due to there being less hardcore collectors in Japan, and that most of Japan's population is quite old. But the biggest reason is that in Japan, buying used products is very unpopular. So unpopular to the point that even eBay failed to succeed in Japan. These systems are identical, minus a few small differences. For example, Nintendo 3DS XL models are called 3DS LL in Japan due to cultural differences, meaning on the bottom of the console it will say 3DS LL instead of XL. Luckily, this is purely cosmetic. The only major drawbacks to a Japanese 3DS system is the following. First, the system language is in Japanese, but it can make the 3DS tricky to navigate. And the second drawback is that you can only play Japanese region physical games on these systems. Now I'm going to show you how to fix them completely for free. In order to fix these issues, we will need to install custom firmware. Many of you may already be familiar with custom firmware, as it's a really popular thing to do with loads of older game consoles. But a quick summary for those who don't know. Basically, custom firmware is like a custom-made operating system with certain restrictions removed, so you can install things such as game mods and unofficial ports of popular games. Some other cool things you can do are install custom themes and a whole heap of other stuff as shown on screen. But most importantly, custom firmware automatically removes all region restrictions once installed. So how? Well, I'd love to give a detailed tutorial. The unfortunate reality is that methods change all the time, whether that be because Nintendo blocking exploits or the community finds easier ways to do it. If you're interested in modding your DS, first make sure you have an SD card of at least 16 GB and have access to either a Windows PC, a Mac or an Android phone. You may also need a cheap adapter if your device does not have an SD card slot. And go to the following website, 3ds.hacks.guide. Now, if that sounds a bit complex for you, you can buy pre-modded systems from places such as eBay and AliExpress. However, note that these systems may cost a slight extra premium because of this. But if you lack the time or the knowledge, these are a very solid option. Just be careful to make sure that you are not getting overcharged too much for something that can be done for free within an hour. But wait, I followed your advice and got a homebrewed system, and this 3DS is still in Japanese. There are two options to solve this. The first, more easier option would be to use a lens translating app on your phone to translate the text when needed. For most users, this will be good enough, as it is very rare that you may need to change a setting. You buy a 3DS to play games, not to fiddle with the settings, right? But the second option, which is more advanced, would be to flash your 3DS with a new image to change the language. This is relatively doable if you have some knowledge about modded systems. However, this is not recommended by the guide, as there is a small risk that you can brick your 3DS. There is also a 50% chance that the eShop still works after, but if none of that matters to you and you accept the risks, then this is a solid option, as your 3DS will be no different to one of your native region. But the final huge benefit to buying a Japanese system is that 99% of the time they are in mint condition, and all of these awesome limited edition consoles that they got over there. Like, look at this, isn't this beautiful?